Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T78, the Tier 6 American Premium Tank Destroyer. It's located on the northeast corner of Providence, and this one is under the command of Picklefish44. Game started. Now he's got one mark of excellence on the barrel. And we've got no sound. Yes, again, Wargaming have screwed up with the updates. And it means that we can't have engine sound when we're running some of the replays. Which is kind of odd actually, because it plays during the battle, but it just doesn't play when we try to do the replay later on. Okay, the T78, it's got a 90mm gun, which is capable of 240 output and penetrating 160mm of armour with the standard rounds, and with the premium rounds, it'll go through 221mm of armour. It's basically an M24, the Chaffee, with a Hellcat turret on top. And it never got put into production because basically all the 90mm guns were actually sent to or used on M36s, the Jackson. And he fired that one in speculatively because one of the enemy tanks turned around at that point and he thought that he might get a shot. He might get a shot over here as well. Oh, now just hit the tracks there. Left it just a fraction too late. And the Ram 2 got away. Can he get the MP43? Yes, he does. And the guy stopped, which made it much easier to get the shot. And he pulled back just to get another, for cover. And he gets another pen. The P43 is looking this way. Now that guy's got a 90mm gun, so he could fire back in kind. And now we've got a T1 Heavy up there as well. Now hopefully he'll drive straight past. He does. Takes one into the engine bay. 378 off that. Well, no, 263 actually was the amount of damage he did with the shell. Can't see some of the other enemy tanks, and sitting behind the tree the where he is, he actually does get some protection from the enemy ahead of him. That one just knocked down the building. The T1 Heavy's behind that house, but the moment he pops up too high, he gets seen, and oh no, should have waited for then, because there was a nice little gap there. All he was aiming at before was the top of the turret. The guy's going to pull forward again. Oh no, tried to get the guy again, but it fired through the roof of the building, and then he can see it again. So yeah, he's getting opportunities to shoot, but that's better. That's a kill shot. He waited for the moment that the guy was out in the open. He's got this guy in the open again, but he didn't get the kill because it actually went to the OI experimental. So this is a good position for him to be in. He's already done 1073 hit points of damage and hasn't suffered any damage from the enemy whatsoever. Now you don't get a lot of hit points to work with the T78. It is, after all, just a tier 6 tank destroyer based on a light tank. So yes, you only have 670 health and you have to make the best use of it as you can. It is a fairly fast tank destroyer. I'd say fast, but it's only 55 kilometers now, nowhere near as fast as a Hellcat. But then the Hellcat didn't actually, in reality, have a 90mm gun. It only had a 76mm. Even the Super Hellcat that's shown in the game is a fake tank. Now, there's a VK3601H up there on the cliff, and oh! Now, I wonder if he picked up... No, he didn't pick up the spotting off that, but it would have been nice if he had. I think it was his teammates who got the spotting on that one. But there's an M4A1 up there. You can see how bad this thing is at traversing. It's got a very wide turning circle. That turret's very, very heavy weight on top of a tiny little Chaffee body. The tank isn't very heavy in weight. It's only 26 tons. Very light tank. So it's having to cart around that big 90mm gun and the Hellcat turret that goes with it. Auto aims on to get the M4 and gets the kill. And he narrowly avoids an Arty round that came back. Now if he goes this side, if there are any enemy on the other side of the valley, and there is an ARL44 over there, that guy might get shots on him, but I think he's happy that the ARL44 is actually occupied. And now he's come up to this corner because there's a nice little shot there on an M36 and he puts a round through him. That's the real 90mm armed American talented tank destroyer. And, oh no, he didn't get that one, but the kill went to our Hellcat from across the valley. So his neck was safe because, oh no, you can't go through that wall and you have to go around it. If that Hellcat had managed to get, that Jackson managed to get around into him, that might have been a different problem, because he could only take 3 shots from a Jackson and you'd be out the game. Okay, over there somewhere is an ARL-44 and he's on the lower road. That's what we know because he was last seen in that area. Okay, we've got an enemy Arty. It's a Fifi. It's been spotted. And there's also a tank destroyer up there. Hellcat, yes, gets a nice round into him, but he doesn't fire back. But unfortunately, we lose the VK30-1P. Was it 30-1H? Sorry. Okay, the Hellcat knows we're here. And if he backs up too far, the ARL might be able to fire at him. So he wants to remain unspotted temporarily. That Hellcat's probably going to come around the corner. If so, he wants to get around in as quickly as possible so he can have the advantage. Reload time for this gun is, by the book, 7.96 seconds. Can't see the reload time at the moment for Picklefish, but I believe it's a lot less than that. Again, we're not using mods on this replay because it wouldn't work with a standard client. It wouldn't work with the modded client, rather. Which again shows that this sound problem is not to do with mods, because this is an unmodded client. Yes, I keep copies of clients that are modded as well as unmodded, because sometimes you get a troublesome replay that just won't run otherwise. He spotted the ARL. He's looking over in this direction. He's going for the roof. Oh no, he misses it. And the ARL tried to fire back, but the Fifi got a penetrating shot. The armour on this vehicle is very thin, 25mm, and well, the Fifi can easily get through that. Okay, he's backing up because he's not spotted anymore, and the ARL is now engaging one of our guys. He's side on, one into the engine bay, but here comes the Hellcat, and he knows that Picklefish has just fired. He did take a round, but remember the Arty's going to fire in. He kicks the kill on the Hellcat. Now, Nick, get behind the wall and get back from that corner, because the Gorilla could be reloaded. The Gorilla just took a round. There's only 3 enemies left. It's the Fifi. That was the shot from the Fifi. There's a Gorilla out there who will try to shotgun you. There he is. Okay, he's just around the corner. Is he looking this way? Yes, he is. So, under these circumstances, let your own Arty do the work for you. Don't try and go around the corner, because that will only get a shotgun. If you stay where you are, then your own teammates will get the shots. In fact, they're trying, and they did. They got 171. And he's just fired, so you can move now. He's just fired. But remember, the enemy Fifi will also fire. You can move. He has fired. I think he's missed that. He just didn't see the shot from the Gorilla. But there you go, he's got it now. Okay, so just stay here for a sec so that the Fifi cannot see you. The Jackson's turning up. He's just behind us. There he is. He's just coming in. So now you can go. Even though you're a one-shot for the Fifi, you're only 8 hit points left. Get the shot. Yes, he gets a nice shot on the Fifi. He's going to go for another shot on the M41. He gets a big hit there. And there's the kill shot on the M41. He just needs... Well, in fact, actually, they just killed the Fifi. So the game is over and it's a victory for Picklefish. And here's the end of battle results. And it was an ace tanker for Picklefish44 in the T78. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. A fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. A fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. He got the high caliber because he dealt the most damage in that game. In fact, he dealt almost 1,000 hit points of that from that position before he even took any damage from the enemy whatsoever. And he also picked up a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else. At least 6 tanks, which was subsequently taken out by other teammates. His win rate in the game was 7,165, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Highest damage, 2,947 hit points. Nobody else made it over 2,000, and the highest scorer was the VK3001D on the enemy team with 1,429, followed by our own Hellcat with 1,371. When it came to kills, he had the highest number of those as well, with 4. 3 kills went to the Hellcat and 3 to the ARL44 in the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he's the only one to get over 1,000. He's got the top in all 3 columns, 1,363 base experience points. The next highest scorer being only 710, and that was from the Fifi on his own team, followed by the Jackson with 653. So very well played. He played far better than the other members of his team, basically. Although he didn't get a huge number of kills, he did certainly get a lot of damage, and he helps Spot for a lot of damage as well. Let's have a look at detail. 23 shots fired, 16 direct hits, 14 penetrations, damage of 2,947 hit points, of which 1,541 was at more than 300 meters. Those are the shots he was firing across the valley, and yes, he certainly did earn more damage at long range than he did at short range. 2 hits received, both penetrations, I'm afraid. Yes, he did receive a hit from that Hellcat, and so he did lose some hit points in that battle, as well as some damage from splash from the enemy Arty. In fact, one of the shots was from the Fifi, and it did penetrate him because it's got very thin armor on this little tank destroyer. 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 10 enemy vehicles damaged, so 2/3 of the enemy team were touched by him, 4 killed, and 1,028 hit points of spotting assist. On a premium count, he earned 78,482 credits, got 39,241 from personal reserves, a total of 117,722 credits altogether, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 95,768 credits profit. He actually fired mostly standard ammo, and that's why he was able to earn such a huge profit. 2,044 XP, 614 for this being a premium vehicle, and 2,044 from personal reserves took away 4,703 experience points altogether. So a brilliant game, really. He says teamwork, actually. Well, I think he's being very generous to the rest of the team, because although to a certain extent he was spotting for them, they were getting the shots in, but he was the one who was actually providing them with the information and also doing damage to the enemy. He got a lot of shots into the enemy tanks across the valley when they were trying to get to a position where they could actually do something. He took out 2 enemy tanks, or 3 enemy, no, 2 enemy tanks across the valley. I think he took out, well, he took out the Hellcat that was on the other side. He took out the Gorilla on the other side. So it was the M4A1 on the other side, but the T1 Heavy he took out on the other side of the valley, and he got shots, a lot of shots in on the other enemy tanks that were across the valley. So very well played. Congratulations. Nice battle actually in the T78, which is a decent tank destroyer to get. If you are considering getting one of the premium tank destroyers, this is definitely one I would get, because it's a low tier, but it can generate a huge amount of profit because it's very, very, how should we say it, flexible. It almost it's kind of a cross between a light tank and a tank destroyer, even though it's only got tank destroyer stats. It doesn't have light tank camo capability, but it certainly is a very, very versatile little tank destroyer, and I definitely have one on each of my accounts, and I would recommend anyone to get one because you can generate credits with this thing. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.